Hello Begbrook and welcome back to chapter 2 of the Outlaw Varjak. I hope you are as excited as I am to find out what's going to happen in chapter 2. We left it on a little bit of a cliffhanger before, so I wonder who it was that demanded Varjak gave him or her the mouse. I have my suspicions based on my knowledge of the first book. I think you probably do too, but we shall find out because we never know who it might be. I don't know because I haven't read it yet. I am reading it as I read it to you. I hope you have all had a happy Tuesday and got some learning done and lots of playing and had a happy day. Stay safe. We miss you all loads. Enjoy chapter 2 and I will see you soon. Bye bye.
Varjak turned. Oh no, there were 4 cats at the top of the alley. Big, brawny cats with short, bristling fur. They swaggered forward, through the snow, tails thudding behind them. "It's a patrol! From Sally Bones's gang!" hissed Holly. Sirens wailed in the city night, but Varjak and Holly couldn't run. Tam was still in the dump. "Tam, come on!" urged Holly. Cludge whined softly, crouching down in the rubbish as the patrol crunched through the snow towards them. Varjak could taste his friend's fear on the sharp, cold air. Or was it his own fear, quickening his pulse, stiffening his spine? Sally Bones wasn't among them, but Varjak recognised 2 of her captains. Leading the patrol was Luga, a grey cat with a flat, snub nose and emotionless eyes. He looked perfectly calm and poised, but in his every step was the threat of violence. He walked like he owned the streets. Behind him stalked Razor, a tiger-striped tomcat. He was twice Varjak's size, taller, broader, bigger in every way. They'd fought last time they'd met. Razor had the edge. Varjak had used the way to defend himself, but Sally Bones had stepped in and ended the fight, brushing them both aside with ease. Varjak still remembered the thin white cat's ice-blue eyes burning into his mind. Still heard her voice echoing in his head. Where did you learn that? Who taught you? Because that was when he realised the way wasn't just his secret. She knew it too. "Varjak, said Luga, his voice cold as metal. "And Holly, what are you 2 doing here? Making trouble again?" "Oh, no," said Holly. "No trouble at all." Her voice was gravelly as ever, but her whiskers were stiff with tension. Above them, the street lamp crackled and fizzed. Behind Luga, Razor scowled. His face was covered in scars. "Hanging round with dogs now, are you?" he said, brash and loud. "Don't you know how wrong that is? It's enough to make you sick." The rest of the patrol looked at Cludge and flexed their claws. The big dog blinked. "Cludge won't hurt you," said Varjak, trying to sound calm though his stomach felt tight and his mouth had gone dry. "Wasn't talking to you," snapped Razor. His tail flicked cockily in the snow. "The boss has taught us how to deal with dogs. Don't try anything, doggy, or you'll get hurt." Cludge was so much bigger, yet Razor seemed so sure of himself. "Don't even look at them, Cludge," thought Varjak. "We don't want any trouble. We just want them to go away." Cludge looked down, very still and silent. Snow settled on his coat. "Good," said Luga, cool as ice. "Now we're searching for a pair of outlaws. Twin cats. One big, one bigger. Have you seen any of them?" "No outlaws here," said Holly. "We're just talking." "You've been hunting," said Razor. He licked his lips. "Look, Luga, they've got a mouse. It's ages since we've had a mouse." His tail flicked. "Give it over. Now." Varjak looked at his mouse. Snow swirled through the alley. "I said, give me that Mouse, repeated Razor. Luger watched with emotionless eyes. Varjak's heart thumped in his throat. He felt dizzy. He was so hungry. He'd been searching all day for this mouse. Give him the mouse, Varjak, whispered Holly. Why should I? The words slipped out of his mouth before he could stop them. He stared down at the snow. He couldn't believe what he'd just said. Razor's ears twitched, like he couldn't believe it either. Then his fur puffed up. His muscles rippled under his stripy coat. You'll do it because it's the law, he growled. If you're not in our gang, you can't hunt mice. You have to eat rubbish. The wind whipped into Varjak's face. The law? He'd never heard of this law. He was still so new to the city. Maybe Holly knew about it. But she looked troubled. Wait, she said. That's the law in Sally Bones's territory on the west side. No one else would hunt there. No one would even go there. But this is the city centre. It's neutral ground, free for all. Not anymore, said Luger. What do you mean? Said Holly. What about us cats who live in the centre? You will obey the law, said Luger coldly. Anyone who breaks the law will be taken before Sally Bones and punished. Now, Varjak Paw, give Razor that mouse. There was no arguing with Luger. He spoke of the law with absolute authority, in a voice as harsh and cold as winter. Even Holly had no answer to him. Varjak shivered. He surrendered the mouse without a fight, without even a word. He stood there silent and let Razor snatch it away from him. The gang cats gobbled it down. They licked their lips. Then the rusty gate rattled and Tam came out of the dump, swinging her bushy tail proudly behind her. Hey, Varjak, I found something good to eat, buried at the back, she said. And then she saw the patrol, and her tail curled up. Luger, she stuttered. Razor? Tam, said Razor. Always thinking about food, aren't you fat enough already? The gang cats cackled. Tam tried to laugh along with them, but all that came out of her mouth was a strangled sounding noise. Enough, snapped Luger. The cackling stopped dead. The dump belongs to Sally Bones now. If there's anything good to eat in there, it's ours. He turned to the patrol. Uzi, Shane, come with me. Razor, stay here and guard these cats till we come back. Do it properly this time, and perhaps we'll save you a scrap. Luger and the others went through the gate. Tam shuddered as they passed her. Razor stood there, in the snow, tail swishing furiously behind him. Right, he growled at Varjak and his friends, when the others were gone. You three'd better not mess things up for me. Tam, you're in such big trouble. You were breaking the law, and you know what happens to lawbreakers. The scars on his face twisted up like snakes. They get Sally Bones's punishment. Tam flinched at the word. Please, no, she gulped. Razor leaned in close to her. He ran a claw along the edge of her ear. Tam flinched away, but Razor moved faster. He came in low behind her and bit her bushy tail hard. Stop it! Shrieked Tam. Leave me alone! Varjak clenched his paws. He was getting angry. All that talk of the law had confused him, but now he knew what was going on. This was bullying. He'd grown up being bullied by his brothers, and he didn't like it one bit. He wanted it to stop. He caught Cludge's eye and nodded. The black dog stood up to his full height and shook the snow from his coat. Enough! Cludge growled at Razor. Razor turned to face him. All around them the wind was rising, getting colder. I'm not scared of you, said Razor. A pack of dogs. That's scary. But without a pack, a little doggy on its own is nothing. Cludge got pack, got friends. You leave Cludge's friends alone." "Your friends are cats," jeered Razor, as the snow pelted down around them. "You should stick with your own kind, you stupid, stinking moron." "What's wrong? Won't the other doggies talk to you any more?" Cludge's black eyes clouded over. He began to quake. He leaned in close to Razor so his muzzle was just above the tomcat's head, and then he roared, a mighty, deafening roar, like thunder. Varjak grinned. "Go on, Cludge," he thought. "Razor thinks he's so tough. Let's see how tough he is now." But Razor stood his ground and exploded into action. His claws arced up and slashed a vicious curve through Cludge's soft, wet nose. The big dog howled. He twisted away, turning his face left and right and left, spraying blood into the snow. He stumbled back from Razor's claws and hid behind Varjak, trembling, whimpering, bleeding from the nose. It was over. Varjak's stomach turned liquid. Razor strutted before them, tail held, insolently high and proud, fur rippling in triumph. "Who else wants a fight?" he crowed. "You, Varjak Paw? You were lucky last time. If the boss hadn't cut in, I'd have had you. But they never let me forget it. Never!" He bared his teeth. "This time, you're mine." And here came Razor, big, brawny, barging towards him through the snow. No time to think. Only one thing for it, the way, the fighting skills. Fourth skill, slow time. Varjak breathed deep and counted. In 2, 3, 4, the world seemed to shimmer. Out, 2, 3, 4, everything slowed down. In, 2, 3, 4, but Varjak felt fast. Out, 2, 3, 4, power rose up in him. Now, the fifth skill, moving circles, he made the power flow into a circle of pure energy, hot and strong in the winter night. "Look!" cried Tan. "Look! He's shimmering!" "Varjak! No!" warned Holly. "He'll kill you!" Wind streaked through Varjak's fur. Snow spiraled down around him. He braced himself, and as Razor sprang through the air, he spun his moving circle out to meet him. Smash! The impact knocked Varjak off his paws, but the moving circle held true. He rolled with the blow. He twisted, turned, and tipped Razor off balance. Razor recovered fast. He lashed out with his back legs, slashed at Varjak's face. It was a fearsome kick, and it connected with brutal accuracy. Blood splattered on the snow around them. Varjak was cut. He ignored the stinging pain, gathered his power, let the energy rise up in him, let it build, and as Razor came to finish him, he unleashed it in a blinding burst of force. Slam! Razor blinked. His legs gave way. The big cat sank to the ground. Varjak dived in, pinned him, held him down. The energy blazed through him. Slam! 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 He pounded Razor again and again. The power was so strong, it filled his mind. He couldn't stop. "I'm going to teach Razor a lesson," he thought. "This bully, who's hurt my friends and stolen my food, I'm going to smash him up so badly he'll never fight again." "Varjak!" He heard a gravelly voice far away. Holly's voice. He stopped hitting Razor and turned round. Holly was right behind him. "Varjak, that's enough!" He looked down at Razor. The tiger-striped tomcat was gazing up at him, helpless, dazed, bloodied. He was almost out cold. One more hit and he'd be finished. Varjak started to shake. What had he done? He'd lost control, lost it completely. He dropped his paws, put away his claws. He stood up and let Razor go free. "What?" gasped Razor, blinking. Aren't you going to?" "No," said Varjak. He was shaking with the force of it. Holly, Tam and Cludge were looking at him, eyes wide. "Let's get out of here," said Holly, "before Luga and the others get back."
I hope you enjoyed chapter 2. I certainly did. It was action-packed. So, my question, what was the 4th and 5th skill? And also, can you predict what's going to happen in chapter 3? My prediction from chapter 2 was wrong because I thought it was going to be Sally Bones, but in fact it was her gang. What did you think, and did you get it right? And what do you predict for chapter 3, and are you going to get that right? Looking forward to reading chapter 3 tomorrow. Hope you have a lovely day tomorrow. See you soon. Bye.